Statesman Nation. We are here to preview Week 8 of the football season here with Coach Hafner. We got the battle of the option offense, as I like to call it. It's always an interesting game just to see who can run the option better against the other team, and obviously where the defenses fit into the whole situation. But before we get to that, let's rewind and talk about the Culver-Stockton game that we probably didn't play our best, but came away with a W off of bye week. I know you just happy to keep the ball rolling in the right direction.
Well, I think the one thing, there were a couple things that stood out to us as coaches. I thought our week of preparation was fine. I didn't think our game day preparation was very good. I thought we were a little bit lackadaisical in how we prepared on game day. The ride over was a little bit different, and I didn't feel the enthusiasm that I felt in the past couple of weeks. So that was something we addressed. And then again, I thought our defense was absolutely fantastic. They had a long drive right before half, and then a long drive at the end of the game. Other than that, they had nothing. And so, very proud of the way our kids are continuing to play on defense. I saw that they're nationally ranked in a lot of categories. Right. And so, that's, I think it's really a tribute to what's going on over there. We've got great players, but the coaches are getting them ready to go. And, hopefully we can go over there and not turn the ball over tomorrow and play a lot better on offense.
Definitely. With regards to, I don't know where I was going with that. Let's just skip it. Peru State, again, it's a team that is going to, be a complete mirror image of us offensively. And then they throw in another interesting mix that you've got Jake Adams as one of their coaches now, player for us and a coach for us. So he obviously definitely knows what we're doing. No surprises there. So I know you guys have had to switch up signals and stuff. So obviously another wrinkle that you have to do. Or something else. But I guess how does Peru look? And what are we going to be able to do to keep them off balance, basically? Well, they know what we're going to do.
They do, and Jake was obviously a great player for us, was a great young coach for us, and now he's over there, and we started during the bye week actually preparing for this, to be honest with you. We started with some different signals, and we've gone to a wristband to call plays, and so we've had some preparation. We all love Jake, but he wants to win just as bad as anybody else, and it's fair is fair, and so so we've done some different things as far as that goes. We still have to execute. They still have to execute. As far as mirror images of each other, yes, they're almost identical to each other, and and that creates some challenges in itself. Anytime that a defense has to prepare for a triple option offense, after having prepared for 7 weeks for spread offense, they're going to throw the ball all over the place. Creates different challenges, and last year we proved that if we go execute a game plan, we can do well against it, and last year we sure did, and we know they're going to make their adjustments. We've made a couple changes to try and help us be better on defense, and defensively they did a great job against us last year too. They changed defenses on us a little bit. 2 years ago they played one defense and that was it, and last year they came in and mixed it up, and so we're prepared. We've practiced against everything that we think they could give us, and hopefully we can go over there tomorrow and be good at what we do, and be disciplined on defense, and not give up any big plays.
Yeah, and obviously that's the key. Other teams are always going to say, or you always talk about other teams' defenses have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And we don't really talk about that, but that's the situation.
Right.
The teams that are overly aggressive, we're going to find the holes in them. If they wait on it too long, we'll find the holes in them, whatever. But they have to be disciplined, they have to stick in whatever. And now your defense has to do the same thing. It's, okay, guys, it's great to be this over-pursuing whatever, and it's great for the sack numbers and all of that for Rashawn Coleman, etc. But now sack numbers aren't going to happen.
No. Well, now
you're going to get some tackles for loss, obviously, but it's not going to be sacks. So what? I guess go ahead.
Well, I think that the biggest thing with that is on defense is just do your job.
Yeah.
And when you're playing some of those spread teams, one guy can cover for you. If you get out of your pass rush lane, someone else can cover that pass rush lane. Here, if you don't tackle the dive, no one else is responsible for tackling the dive. So if you don't do it, then they're going to hand the ball off, and potential for a big play.
Right.
If you don't tackle the quarterback, there's no one else there to do that. We have guys that are specifically assigned to each part of the option game, and there's no one there to protect you if you don't. And so again, it's all about, you know, controlling your mind and your eyes, making sure you know who's who and where's where, and you know, being in the right spot when you're called upon. So you know, it's still about getting to the football. You know, it's still about trying to create turnovers, and you know, offensively for us, we just have to do a better job of blocking them. You know, we've put ourselves in good spots as far as where we're going and what we're doing. And we just have to do a better job of finishing plays. And and again, last week, you know, the turnover bug bit us a little bit. And so, you know, we don't like to talk about that too much as far as to our team. You know, how much do you address it without it becoming an issue? And it's not something we've been bad at all year. And last week we didn't handle it very well. So so we'll be better there, and hopefully that'll help.
Yeah. In the option offense, as just like our statistics will show, nobody is per se the star for the Bobcats. Their quarterback, Travis Carnahan, puts up some decent numbers, not really rushing per se, but he throws the ball a little bit more than, or they throw the ball a little bit more than we do. Anybody that, again, no stars, but anybody you're keying up on, like, we got to make sure that we slow that guy down.
Well, I think, you know, and this is, I mean, you hear it on TV, you hear it in the defensive staff room, you hear it everywhere. You have to stop the fullback. You can't just let him hand the ball off and gain 5 or 6 yards at a pop, because that's two things. Then it's going to open up the outside because you have to make adjustments to stop the inside, and then they're controlling the clock, which is what we don't want them to do. And so I think that's going to be the key. I think containing their quarterback and not letting him feel comfortable with what's going on is the other key. And so you know, they do some different things. You know, that they're obviously an option football team, all right, but they'll get in the gun a little bit, and they'll throw some screens, and they'll try and throw the ball downfield a little bit. So you know, there are other things that we had to prepare for, but if we don't stop the option, then that's what they're going to go to, and they're going to continue to go to it. So that's what we focused on. You know, their secondary stuff, you just have to make sure you're lined up and make a play when it's your chance.
Right, definitely. And then when I always look at this game as, this is a fun game because the game gets done in like 2 hours and 15 minutes, the fastest game of the year by far. You know, there's going to probably be limited opportunities to score.
Right.
As you figure, you're expecting both teams, if they have any success, it's going to be longer drives. And you don't expect to have a 70-yard run bust off. You expect the 10-play, 75, 8-minute drive type thing where, you know, like last year was 13-9. You know, that's another thing you guys are probably talking about in addition to the turnovers. Limit those. It's take advantage of every opportunity that you have.
You have to. You know, and a turnover on your side is a lost opportunity, and obviously a defensive, you know, takeaway is a gained opportunity. And as long as you're not giving them more opportunities than you're getting, you're going to have a great chance to win the game. Because, you know, with what we do, with what they do, I mean, teams are going to go for it on 4th and 2 at the 50-yard line. I mean, it's just what option football teams do. And so, you know, you are going to have limited opportunities. You have to take advantage of those opportunities. You have to be really good in the special teams game. You can't give up a long kickoff return for a touchdown or punt return for a touchdown, and you just have to go and be sound in everything you do. You have to have your mind in the game at all the time. And you have to take advantage of the chances that you're getting.
Right, definitely. Finally, getting to that point now, there's still 4 games left, but knowing who we have down the road and knowing what they've already done, losing to Grandview last week, this begins to become playoff territory.
Yes.
Basically. I mean, we really can't afford too many more losses. Even one might be too many. I don't know their situation. They're 4-3, 0-1 in the conference. They can't afford any. They really have to go out. How does that change your mindset going into this game, or is it just, you know, we just play, we just win, and that's just what it is, or is it sneaking up in the back of your head thinking, okay, it's become now a must-win situation?
Well, you know, Wade, that's a really fine line to walk, because, you know, you want your kids to understand the importance of it, but you don't want to overemphasize it.
Yeah, where they're freaking out.
Right, and so, I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I'm one of those guys, I'm very open about where I think we are and where I think we should be, and the thing that our kids have bought into, and I know this is, you're going to laugh at me when I say this, but, you know, we can't be 2-0 until we win the next game.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just one of those things where we as coaches have to do our best, and they as players have to do their best to focus on being 2-0 in the conference. And so, you know, all that other stuff will take care of itself as if you focus on being 2-0, and then you focus on the next one when the opportunity comes. And you know, as long as we're 2-0 after this week, we're still in first place in the conference. We still control our own destiny.
Exactly.
And at this point, that's the most important thing that our kids need to be looking at is we need to be able to control our own destiny after this week.
Definitely. With having a more veteran group, I guess, and we don't still have a ton of seniors, but they're so much older than they were last year and so much more experienced. Is that helping? I mean, they just understand that, you know, there's a bigger picture here. Let's not worry about just, I don't say just winning, but, you know, just going out and just taking care of business and letting that determine the outcome.
Yes, I think that is a lot more evident this year than last year.
Right.
You know, last year we were just kind of, you know, we started to win a few games and everybody was just like, hey, this is kind of fun, you know.
Yeah, right.
But I think our kids are more focused on what has to happen, and they know that if they don't go play well tomorrow, that it could be bad for them, because Peru State's a very good football team. They have some outstanding football players, and I think our kids saw that on film. I think that they know that, you know, this is not one that we can go sleepwalk through or we're going to get beat. And you know, hopefully we show up tomorrow with a more spirited attitude than we had last week. You know, weather could play a factor. I mean, it's supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow, so who knows if we're going to get started at 11, if we're going to get delayed at 2, you know, if we're going to get the game in. And so it's just one of those things that you know, we have to go and we have to be focused when it's time to be focused, and go try and be 2-0.
Definitely. Finally.
Yep.
I already said finally. But, with it being the ESPN3 game and all of that, I know we've had this before, but any, you know, guys getting excited like, oh, this is great. But I mean, honestly, anymore in the age of technology, every game is available for anybody to watch. So I don't know if this, for me per se, if it changes a lot for you guys. Yeah, it's cool to say you're on ESPN3, but technically your games are always out there for anybody to watch. So.
They are, but there's a little bit different feel when you say ESPN.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so I think our kids do get excited for it. You know, as coaches and things, you know, we have to plan for TV timeouts, and there are different things that so there's some different preparation as far as that goes. I think our kids do get excited for it. You know, when we mentioned Sunday that it's 11 o'clock game, and they're all like, okay, TV game, you know. So it is important to them to win. It is important to them to play well, and there is definitely some excitement when it's an ESPN game.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, I alluded to it, said it. It's an ESPN3 game, KSMO, TV, Mediacom 22, all of that stuff. Tons of opportunities to watch the statesman. 11 o'clock start, contradictory to how I wrote it originally yesterday, but yeah, 11 o'clock start, the Oak Bowl in Peru, Nebraska. So definitely come out and check out Coach Hafner and the guys. If you're there, and I guess bring an umbrella, because it sounds like it could be nasty. So, but yeah, best of luck, Coach, and go to 2-0 in the conference.
Very good, thank you.